The Amazon apocalypse is killing e-commerce. Jeff Bezos is the Terminator, and he's destroying competition faster than you can say, I'll be back. Hey guys, my name is Matt Ward. I'm an ex-Amazon seller, built and scaled a business from 8K to seven-figure exit in under 12 months. My background is e-commerce, and I've built and sold a couple companies in that. And today we're talking e-commerce, which is my specialty and what I've studied quite a bit. Now, e-commerce is really interesting. We're transforming the future of purchasing, the future of retail, the future of everything. And right now, e-commerce is around 10 to 13% of the U.S. national retail. So it's not everything, but it's growing very, very quickly. And Amazon of that is around 50%. They are completely dominant. And that number is only growing as more and more users get into Amazon's ecosystem, as more and more people join Prime, especially for some of the Prime benefits. Now you've got music, now you've got movies, you've got the free shipping, you've got all of this stuff that comes into it. Well, Prime is becoming enormous, and it's driving massive, massive sales for Amazon. Prime members buy more than twice as much per year as non-Prime members. So Amazon knows what we got to push. Speaking of push, hit that subscribe button if you guys like this. Amazon does not care about sellers. It does not matter how big you are. I ran an Amazon podcast, FBA All Stars, where we helped Amazon sellers scale their businesses up. And what I would find as someone who is pretty deep into the space, Amazon would crush businesses. You would have $10 million sellers with their account shut down overnight. No reason. And that's what happens when you're dealing with a massive platform that just doesn't care. They make so much money that they don't have to think about their sellers. They only think about the customer and the money that Amazon makes. And every seller is replaceable. So in addition to not caring about sellers, Amazon also rips off sellers. What they're doing is they use the third-party platform. They use these third-party sellers to get data on these different types of products. They can find what's selling, what isn't. And then you know what? Well, we're Amazon. Why don't we make our own Amazon Basics version? If you look at the takeoff of Amazon Basics, it's an exponential trend in terms of how quickly they're releasing new products. They find the data, they find what works, they find those manufacturers, and then they undercut the existing sellers. They're able to place themselves at the number one position. So everything that you're buying is Amazon Basics, especially if it's anything basic. If it's a CPG company, it's already dead because Amazon's able to offer you better razors, better toilet paper, all of this at a cheaper price because your margin is my opportunity. At least that's what Bezos says. Amazon is becoming so integrated in everyone's life. If you need something, you don't want to go out to the store to buy it. You click add to cart. And Amazon's incredible add to cart, which they've patented. How can you patent one-click checkout? But Amazon has patented this, and it's becoming more and more common in everyone's everyday life is to just order something on Amazon. If you guys like this so far, connect on social media. I'm Matt Ward.io. You can find my website at mattward.io. And I run a podcast, fringe.fm, where I interview the world leaders in the fields of AI, e-commerce, cryptocurrency, space, human longevity, life extension, genetics, etc., you name it. So you can check us out at fringe.fm. Now, back to Amazon. Amazon is transforming the game, and yet marketplaces die when the creator becomes a competitor. Why would they be willing to play fair? In business, the only thing that matters is finding your unfair advantage. Amazon's unfair advantage is the fact that they own the marketplace, they own the consumer, and they can bump everyone else off. Amazon is building the perfect monopoly, and people don't even realize it. Sellers especially, they're willing to play with fire, so to speak. And playing with platforms is playing with fire. We've got another video coming out about that soon. It's just becoming harder and harder. The CPG game is dead. And if you really want to see where things are headed, Amazon bought Whole Foods a couple of years ago, $13 billion. Well, the overall market cap of the top 3 grocery chains in the US, they tanked $13 billion right after Amazon did this. Amazon's market cap went up $13 billion. So they essentially were given Whole Foods for free, which is transformational when it comes to retail and grocery because Amazon already has this marketplace. By buying Whole Foods, we're not going to get into the exact logistics of why this matters, but essentially they bought a fully functioning network with supply and demand in equal profitable amounts so that they're able to scale up the demand and scale up the supply proportionally, which is why Amazon was never able to succeed in the past. They had Amazon Fresh, which was doing $10 million a quarter in 2016, which is chump change for Amazon. Now they're suddenly able to scale up much, much more quickly with Whole Foods and offer those products online. we'll definitely see Amazon start to do more and more in the grocery space in the online. The same thing is happening now with pharmacy. Amazon just tweets about or talks about, oh, and we're thinking about pharmacy. Now they're starting to get bigger into the medical space, etc. But all of these companies that were previously CVS, Rite Aid, etc., they all take massive hits on the day that Amazon announces this kind of stuff. That is what we call monopoly power. Monopoly power is very, very dangerous. If this is interesting for you, subscribe to the podcast, fringe.fm. You can find us in all major podcasting apps, iTunes, Stitcher, etc. We've got links here in the video. Make sure you subscribe and make sure that you do not miss out on anything that's happening. Amazon is soon going to be the largest, most profitable, and monopolistic retailer in the world. Right now, they've got a little bit of competition with some Chinese companies, but what Amazon's doing now is locking themselves into every aspect of consumer commerce. Jeff Bezos wants to own a larger and larger percentage of the overall economic pie, the entire GDP of the world. Right now, they're doing a pretty good job with the US, and they're expanding pretty quickly into the world. Don't believe me? Look at the amount of hoopla that went into their second headquarters. Every essentially governor, every mayor, every person in government reaching out saying, oh God, Bezos, you should come here. We'll give you everything. We'll give you tax breaks. Well, don't even think about the tax. We'll give you money instead, and we'll give you all of these perks. It's been ridiculous to see how much demand there's been for the second headquarters because Amazon is creating jobs, albeit relatively shitty jobs, but they're creating jobs for workers. So the government is willing to bend over backwards for Bezos, and we see a larger and larger growth of a monopoly. Amazon is killing e-commerce. If you're building an e-commerce company, a platform, etc., I've got some videos coming out for you soon, but the only thing I can say for you is Bezos is a bulldozer. You better build a damn deep moat, because if you want to compete with a company like that, you have to have something that sets you apart so that consumers have to have you. Otherwise, your margins will go to zero. I'm Matt Ward, signing off. I want to thank you for this. If you go to Facebook, Fringe FM Podcast, you can find us there. We've got a lot more information. You can subscribe here to the YouTube channel. We've got another one focused more on exponential technologies, which is at fringe.fm/YouTube. I want to thank you for tuning in. And if you're running an e-commerce company, make sure you know what you're dealing with. Again, subscribe to the podcast here, fringe.fm/iTunes or fringe.fm/Android. And until next time, cheers.